Hi everybody, welcome to Khong Driving yet again, and what we have before us today is the newly launched Mitsubishi Xpander. It was just launched sometime last month and we are quite fortunate to be able to present it to you today. So as you can see from the surroundings, what Mitsubishi Motors Malaysia is trying to do is to portray this vehicle as a lifestyle vehicle, and indeed it is. It's very good for small families or big families for who have an energetic and outdoor type of lifestyle, because it not only can carry a lot of stuff, it also has a lot of space and it can carry 7 people in comfort. Okay, we have just driven from Petaling Jaya to this place somewhere in Jelebu, and we went through some nice roads including highway and also some winding roads, and we have found the car to be very well behaved. Yeah, it's not a race car, but if you want to drive it a little bit of spirit and enthusiasm, it will still deliver. It's not the fastest car in the world, but I can tell you it's quite economical. Claimed a fuel consumption of about 7 liters per 100 kilometers, and it has a 1.5 liter engine driving the front wheels, and it has a 4-speed automatic gearbox. What they have in the engine is the Mitsubishi MyVac system that makes it really flexible through the engine rev, and so even though in some places there's a bit of a struggle, especially on the uphill, most of the time the car delivered ample power to be fun enough to drive. So if you ask me, is it very powerful? I would say it is. There is enough power for whatever you want to use it for, except for racing, of course. Okay, on to the vehicle. You can see now that the looks are quite unique and very new, and this is the one departure from convention. The headlights are in the bumper. Maybe not so good when you're going through a flood, but well, it's a refreshing change from the norm. Well, if they had normal headlights, it'll be somewhere up here, but these are a bit further down. It's not so low, so it's maybe a few inches lower than the normal lights. And this is the very Mitsubishi face, and they say that this vehicle is inspired by the Pajero Sport. And if you took a look at the Pajero Sport and this one in isolation, you might be forgiven if you mistook one for the other. Of course, the Pajero Sport is a little bit bigger. Okay, let's drill down to the other features. Well, looking at it from the outside, they call it an MPV, but they also say that it's kind of a combination between MPV and SUV, and I kind of agree. Ground clearance is 205 mm, so this vehicle has got pretty good ground clearance for you to do that little bit of off-road if you want. Okay, just for a bit of comparison, ground clearance for the BRV is 201, so therefore this is a bit higher, and for the Aruz it is 220. The Avanza, I have no idea, but it should be a little bit lower than this, or about the same as this. So, well, the country of origin of this Xpander is actually Indonesia, and of course it was built to fight against the Avanza, and so they built it bigger. So in terms of size, in terms of length, this is one of the longest. It is the longest. If you compare this against the BRV, Aruz and Avanza, at 4475, the Xpander is longer than all of the 3 of them. In terms of power, it loses out only to the BRV, which has 120 PS and 145 Newton meters of torque. But in terms of against the Aruz and the Avanza and also the Rush, this car has got 105 PS and 141 Newton meters of torque. Now, compared to the Aruz and Avanza that actually share the same engine, those are 105 PS and 136 Newton meters, so it's a bit lower on torque. Okay, the one thing that really is attractive about this vehicle is the wheelbase. That means the center to center distance between the front and rear wheels is all of 2775 mm, which makes this the longest wheelbase in the category, because the BRV is only 2662 and Aruz is 2685 and the Avanza is 2655. So this has got the longest wheelbase and therefore it is actually a larger vehicle. And in terms of width, it's 1750, and against this the BRV is 1735, 15 mm narrower, and the Aruz is only 1695, which is about 55 mm, almost 2 inches narrower, and the Avanza is 1660, even narrower than this Xpander. Let's have a look at the front wheels. Front wheels are 16 inch. These are 205/55 R16, so they are 16 inch wheels. Now I want to go back in history, way back in early 2000s when all these vehicles were built. They had 14 inch wheels and then they had 15 inch wheels. So it was cars like the Satya GTI that had 16 inch, and now these basic vehicles have all gone up in terms of tire size and they run 16 inch. Now that also helps to explain why the Xpander can handle so well. Now on top of that, it has got McPherson struts in the front and of course ventilated disc and a single floating caliper, which is quite big. So you can see here with 16 inch wheels you can afford to have bigger brakes. Now at the back you have a torsion beam arrangement, a very simple torsion beam, but it's got a trailing arm. Yeah, trailing arm torsion beam, sort of like a hitch beam, and that has a little bit of flex. And at the back you get also coil springs and drum brakes. These drum brakes look quite big, so should be okay. Now it's starting to rain, so let's do a quick check of the vehicle. Here's the engine compartment. It needs a stick to hold up the bonnet, and here's the engine. It's a east-west arrangement, 1.5 liter double overhead cam engine, and it's got variable valve timing. Now we also know that this engine is all aluminum, which means the block is aluminum and so is the cylinder head. Then you can see a lot of plastic materials. This is the air intake, and this looks like baffles to cut down the air intake raw. And where is the intake hole? It's up here, very high, almost at this level. Okay, that's about 2.5 feet above the floor, so therefore you will be able to go through some of the flash floods in Kuala Lumpur with ease. And over here you have a 4-speed gearbox that's somewhere inside at the bottom underneath all this stuff, and it drives the front wheels through a 4-speed gearbox. So we know that there's ABS, and so the engine, yeah, you can easily put in a 1.8 liter engine should you require. There's plenty of space here. Okay, the 1.5 engine really takes up very little space. Okay, so you can see there's a stop start button, and looking from the outside you see leather seats. This black leather, and what they have done is they've kept it black, and so the trim is also black. This, I heard, is what Malaysians like. Now you have traction control, and this is the light leveler for the headlights, and of course you have a stop start button, and then you have also electrical controls for your windows and your door lock. And this hard plastic, this stitching is, it's not real stitching, but they have made an attempt to make it look good. and the seats are quite high. There is no height adjustment, but this one adjusts the front, or it adjusts, yeah, the back and front of the seat. That's the rake of the seat, I suppose. And then you have the seat back adjustment, and the fore aft is also mechanical. So I suppose it's the same on the other side. Let's go inside the car. And this is the instrument panel, analog, quite okay with me. And you have a MID at the bottom, or rather in the center, speedometer, rev counter on the left, and this info button here, you press this button, and this is a camera. Yeah, I press the camera button and you get the views. So it has what I think is a 360 view camera. You just press the button to change the views, and then the info button you press, you can get your fuel consumption. Okay, so this one is running 9.2 liters per 100. It's done 1092 kilometers. So this car was found here, and they have been using this as a display car, so it probably spent a lot of time idling. Oh, the inside is quite simple. So I slided the seat back and see what it looks like a normal size 13-inch leather bound or leatherette bound steering. And one thing good about this one is you can adjust the steering fore and aft, up and down, and also the rake, yeah, rake and the reach, both adjustable, and it's mechanical. Okay, there are some control switches here, and this is for your radio control, and it has cruise control, would you believe? Yeah, it's normal cruise control. And in the middle you get your display, so you press the button, you get your average speed, then that's your eco. Oh, your eco lesson, how you're driving when you need to service the vehicle in 9,000 kilometers or 6 months down the road, your temperature and your fuel there. Setting menu, okay, we won't go into this. There's some settings for you to do, so okay, haven't figured that one out, but you can figure that out when you buy the car. Okay, so over here we have we are told this car is compatible with Android and Apple, so you can connect your phone to this car, and this is a nice looking screen. I don't know the size, it looks like a 8 or 10 inch, not too sure, but anyway, this is the dashboard. You have hard plastic and it's textured to make like there's some sewing, and then they have this little brushed aluminum effect, and that spreads around to the side. The front dash is quite okay by my standards. You have a mechanical aircon, and you can adjust, so it's a single zone. That's the fan speed, temperature, and then you have your aircon switch. Down there you have USBs, and I understand there are 10 cup holders. I'm not counting, but this is good. Over here there's this little compartment there. You can put your, what I found was this is very good for your smart tag, and so it just holds it there very well. Then you can put some stuff there if you want, maybe a pen or pencil or a pad, and your glove compartment. Wow, lots of stuff inside. Okay, so that's the inside. And airbags, there are only 2. Okay, I'm gonna put my seat back into my normal driving position, and then we're going to the back. Oh yeah, up here you see a DVR recorder, so you can record anything that happens to your car on the front. So looking at the doors, okay, one thing good about this type of cars is they make the doors to open very wide so that you can get in and out easily. So one thing good about this is the height is very good. It's what you call hip point. You just sit there and you get into the car. So from the back you can see that it actually is as wide as it is tall, so it looks a bit like a square. So it looks pretty well proportioned, I might say. Okay, let's open the boot. Okay, this is the rear seat without or rather this is the 7-seater configuration, and you have a little bit of space here to have a little bit of luggage, and to put the seat forward, here we go. Just pull on this string, and that is the luggage space at the back. And let's see what's inside here. You have a little compartment inside for you to keep little stuff. And where is the spare tire? Let's look. I suspect, yes, the spare tire is at the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so that's the boot. Now let's go to the back of the car. Okay, this is the rear seat. There is some room if you slide the seat forward. So this seat here can go fore and aft by about 4 inches. And that's the difference, yeah? That's the seat in normal position, and this is the seat in the forward position. And if you know how to space it properly, you can actually seat 7 people. And this is, yeah, the seat tumbles. This is the rear seat, and you can sit 2 people at the back. Here we go. And you need to raise that headrest up higher. Yeah, you just pull it up, and you can put your headrest up even higher than that. So guys, there are 7 seats if you want them, and of course if you need to travel and have luggage, then maybe 5 is a better bet. But for dinner and lunch, if you need to carry 7 people to go and eat, yeah, no problem. Alright guys, if you want a more spiced up unit, here's an example. What Mitsubishi has done is they gave this vehicle to an accessory shop and said, let's try to make it good. And what they have done is they actually left the interior quite standard, but what they've done is they have dolled up the outside of the vehicle. So what I see is a different set of alloy rims and some side skirting, and also the vehicle has been wrapped in gold. Yeah, so this is one of the iterations you can make of your vehicle, or this is one interpretation you can have to make your Xpander more personal. So I see a rear diffuser, a bigger rear spoiler, I think, darkened lights, extra, oh, those are false exhaust pipes. Okay guys, so that's it for the walk around. Hope you like the vehicle. It's selling for 91,369 ringgit without insurance, and it will cost a little bit more after December 31st. And well, there are 4 colors available, and so far they have already signed up 4,000 orders. So if you want your vehicle, be quick, man. Okay, so that's it for our presentation. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like it, don't forget to share and watch out for our driving video too. Alright guys, thanks for being with us. Until we meet again, bye bye.